I just want to say how unbelievably sorry I am and how much I love this city.
New at noon, a woman sentenced for starting the devastating Elephant's Delicatessen fire in northwest Portland. The punishment she's now facing. Plus, the Oregon doctor who was on board the hantavirus cruise ship potentially testing positive for the virus. Now he's back in the U.S. Plus, China welcoming President Donald Trump this afternoon. The high-stakes meeting he's set to have with Xi Jinping today. And new at noon, two of the men accused in a growing Vancouver child sex abuse case pleaded not guilty in court this morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Gordon. As a warning now, some of the details in this story are disturbing. 36-year-old Chad Hartley and 61-year-old William Snyderwine both appeared for their arraignments this morning. Hartley, who was a medical assistant at the Peace Health Fishers Landing Clinic, faces charges related to child pornography, child molestation, and trafficking. Court documents allege Hartley knowingly and recklessly trafficked a young girl by taking her to the La Center home of Dr. Michael Wilmington. He's the pediatrician who has since died of an apparent suicide. Hartley allegedly left the child alone with Wilmington to engage in sexually explicit acts, as well as molesting her himself. Hartley is due back in court in July. Meanwhile, 61-year-old William Snyderwine pleaded not guilty to charges including conspiracy to commit child molestation and tampering with physical evidence. According to prosecutors, Snyderwine introduced Michael Wilmington and Chad Hartley to each other at a nudist bowling event. Court documents allege Snyderwine encouraged Hartley to bring a victim to Dr. Wilmington. Snyderwine has a previous sexual misconduct conviction from 1998 involving a 14-year-old in Indiana. He's due back in court in July as well. And authorities say this photo is of Anna Hartley, the wife of the medical assistant already charged in the case, being taken into custody. Hartley is now the fourth person linked to this abuse investigation. She's accused of helping transport a child to the home of Dr. Michael Wilmington. Anna, I should say, is the wife of Chad Hartley. Prosecutors say Anna knew the child was abused, but did nothing.
She still left this child with the husband, Chad Hartley, and took the child to Wilmington's house, the co-conspirator who is now deceased, multiple times. This is an ongoing pattern of very severe child sexual abuse.
Anna Hartley is now being held on a $300,000 bail. Her next court date is May 18th. And an important reminder for you, if you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault, no matter your age or gender, help is available 24/7. One resource is the National Sexual Assault Hotline. You can see the number there on your screen. You can call at any time at 800-656-4673. In other news, a woman was sentenced this morning for starting the fire that severely damaged the Elephant's Delicatessen in northwest Portland. 56-year-old Catherine Stowe was sentenced to 6 months in jail with credit for the time she's already served, along with 4 years probation. She spoke in court today saying she was heartbroken about what happened.
This has been the single most catastrophic event in my entire life. I love the Elephant Delicatessen. It was like my special place that I went to seek solace and would sit and write and get coffee.
Court documents show the damage done is estimated at about $2.5 million. Catherine Stowe says she unintentionally started that fire outside the deli back in March. A day later, Stowe told investigators she was the one that started the fire and that she didn't mean to do it. We're just going to switch gears now and take a look at our Rose City Skycam there. That's a live picture of the city with the clouds. It started out really a wet day and overnight as well. Get up to the weather deck. All these Rod Hills up there. It sounds pretty noisy up there. Oh, the wind is really howling, Rod. Oh my goodness, hang on.
Look, I'm going to turn this way, which shields the wind from my mic. It probably sounds worse than it is, Tim. The winds are slowly veering around more to the west. But it's definitely a 15, 20 mile per hour breeze up here on the weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. Let's take the weather maps and we'll show you what's going on. As expected, the majority of the rain that we're going to pick up today has already fallen. What you're looking at here is rain moving out into the gorge and then up north toward Mount St. Helens. There are scattered showers coming into the Coast Range, but you can definitely see some drying between Portland and Salem, and it's dry here in downtown at this hour. This is kind of fun, a little bit of Timberline eye candy for you. The snow level sitting at 5,000 feet today with a dusting of snow. Let's see what that Timberline temperature is, 31 degrees. The snow level will generally be 6,000 feet the next couple of days and could be at Cascade Pass level on Saturday as this cool weather pattern continues. There's our beautiful state capitol under the clouds, 58 degrees. Downtown Portland with a solid cloud cover sharing the same temperature. It looks like we have at least a 50-50, maybe better than that, of opening up some lakes this afternoon and being mainly dry with a scattered shower chance coming. By the way, Tim, this is the favorite move of any live reporter. The wind is hitting me.
Yeah, you do it well too, Rod. Thanks a lot. And sorry for talking over you a little bit there. Didn't realize I was. Well, we've now learned a doctor from Bend who was on board that cruise ship at the center of a hantavirus outbreak has potentially tested positive for the virus. Dr. Stephen Kornfeld and other passengers arrived back in the U.S. yesterday. Reporter Corey Johnson joins us with an update on what we know so far.
Well, Dr. Kornfeld and other passengers who were on board that ship are now in quarantine at a Nebraska medical facility. Kornfeld, who's now in isolation, is an oncologist from Bend. He boarded the cruise ship in early April for a 5-week bird watching trip, departing from Argentina. And when the ship's primary doctor became sick, Kornfeld stepped up to help care for passengers, despite not specializing in infectious diseases. He says he got one lab result that was negative and one that was positive, so doctors are now waiting for new test results to say for sure if he's got the virus. For now, he says he feels fine and is in the biocontainment unit. Kornfeld says he had what he calls flu-like illness while on board that ship in early April.
I had 3 days of night sweats, a lot of chills, some mild respiratory, and a lot of fatigue. What I hear from the experts who I'm seeing daily is that the lab test may not be that straightforward to interpret. So it may never be known if that illness, which others also had, was hantavirus or the typical virus that circulates through a cruise boat.
Now, he also says the fatigue that he experienced lingered with him for about 2.5 weeks after he first started feeling unwell. He also says he expects new test results to come through between today and tomorrow that could paint a better picture on whether or not he actually has the virus. Back to you.
Corey Johnson reporting there. Here's a look at some national headlines this afternoon. The South Carolina Supreme Court has thrown out Alex Murdaugh's murder convictions and ordered a new trial. Justices say comments made to jurors by former County Clerk Becky Hill may have influenced the case. The defense argued her remarks, including telling jurors to watch Murdaugh's body language, prevented a fair trial. Murdaugh will remain in prison, serving state and federal sentences for financial crimes. Google and SpaceX may soon be joining forces for a rocket launch deal. An agreement between the two companies comes as they're starting to compete on orbital data centers. That's the yet-to-be-proven technology that SpaceX chief executive Elon Musk says is the next step for his rocket company. And a new report shows businesses are facing rising inflation due to the Iran war, and consumers could be next. The producer price index rose to 6% on an annual basis in April. That's far above economists' expectations. Experts say a big reason is that reduced oil supplies are driving up the cost of shipping. As businesses face a wholesale inflation, experts say they're likely to pass on at least some of the cost to us, the customers. Well, President Trump touched down in Beijing this morning ahead of a high-stakes meeting with Xi Jinping. President Trump faces economic headwinds with a new report showing the highest inflation in 3 years. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
President Trump arriving in China this morning for a closely watched summit with President Xi Jinping.
He's a friend of mine, and we're going to have a great meeting. We do a lot of business with China.
Trade between the world's two largest economies will be at the forefront, and so will the war with Iran. China is Tehran's most powerful ally and biggest consumer of Iranian oil. That leverage could be key in pressuring Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and end the war, though President Trump publicly downplayed the need for Xi to intervene.
I don't think we need any help with Iran. We'll win it one way or the other. We'll win it peacefully or otherwise.
As the president looks to emphasize stability with China and his relationship with Xi, some allies on Capitol Hill urging a tougher stance.
Realize that the person you're talking to is propping up Russia and Iran.
And the meeting comes amid new signs of trouble for the U.S. economy, with inflation hitting 3.8%, the highest level in 3 years, now outpacing wage growth. Energy costs are driving the surge, with gas prices up 50% since the war started.
My entire tank is my entire check now.
Taking a toll on small businesses that rely on deliveries.
Things could not be going worse right now.
President Trump asked if the impact on Americans' finances motivates him to make a deal with Iran.
The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
The White House adding that the president's top responsibility is American safety and security. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.